Morning! Welcome back to my stream. Where did we leave off last time? I don't remember. It's been a while. We're making a roguelike. Let's see what we can do to refresh. There we go. I'll switch over to my display before I do anything. Okay, good. Alright, so what we were doing last time was calculating different states, and we were looking at ways of cleaning that up. I remember doing that, and then we were going to start refactoring it a lot, right? Yeah, time to break stuff. This is where we were up to. Okay, delete the old stats. So okay, let's dive right in. First, are we clean? I don't think we're clean because we made some changes, right? Yeah, this one little change. Okay, we'll just quickly put that in. Forgot. No, let's say off by one error. Sure. Okay. So let's see. In components.rs, delete combat stats. You'll want to delete it in main and save load system as well, and watch your IDE paint the town red. We've used that quite a bit. Since we're enacting a new D&D-like system, it has to be done, and this also gives us a chance to look at places where we're actually using it and make some informed decisions. If you don't want to follow all of these changes directly or get confused, the source code for this chapter has working versions. So the simpler changes are: we delete mob stats and its reference in mob. In Rawmaster, we delete the code assigning combat stats to an NPC. In spawns.json, delete all the stat blocks. In damage system, replace all references to combat stats with pools, and all references to stats HP with stats hit points current or stat hit points max for max HP. In inventory system, replace all references to combat stat with pools and replace the line referencing max HP and HP stats hit points equals I32 min, blah 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 blah. Okay, and the less easy ones. All right, so let's start off. We have a nice clean workspace. Let's start off with all of this stuff. We're going to delete combat stats. And then we're going to delete it in main. Just double check here. So it's max HP, defense, max HP, defense, and power. And that's what we're getting rid of. All right, so in main, combat stats. And save load system, combat stats. Now everything should blow up, right? If I say write everything and cargo check, it's going to complain everywhere about cargo stats existing. Cargo stats no longer exists. Sorry, combat stats, cargo stat. It doesn't no longer exist. So we're going to have to go through each one of these guys. Oops. Main. Okay, so if I just use the quick fix list, that should at least get us to all the combat stats. Right. So let's just go through all of these use statements. Oh yeah, and that's going to blow up Tribe Move Player. All right. Maybe we should do it. Yeah, I'll put that back. And what we'll do is, yeah, we'll pull it out of here. And we'll pull it out of here. Before we do that, yeah, let's make sure that we get this right. Because this is in Rawmaster, what they're talking about here. Let's go to mob structs. And remove combat stats. Oh, delete mob stats. There we go. So mob stats goes away. And where's mob stats? Here. There it is. In Rawmaster, we're going to delete the code assigning combat stats. Okay, so we do delete that completely. In spawns.json, any stat block So these things go. Oops. And this ended up with a comma there. 6DD. Wow, there's a lot of these stat blocks. I wish it wouldn't put it right at the bottom. That's kind of annoying. The cursor. If I hit N, see now it says stats and now I can't see what's there. It would be nice if it shifted up things a little bit, just so I could see what else is around it. Alright, and get rid of that comma. Get rid of those stat blocks. Okay, so that's spawns.json. In damage system, what are we getting rid of? Replace all combat stats references with pools. Okay. So this is pools. But that's not going to be sufficient, right? Because all references to stats.hp with stats.hitpoints.current or whatever. Okay. So we do have stats here. So your stats.hp and stats.hitpoints.current. Stats.hitpoints.current. There is no stats.hitpoints.max for max HP. Not in this file anyway. Okay, inventory system. Combat stats. Changes to pools. Yep. And then stats.h. So this is stats.hitpoints.current. And then stats.max changes to stats.hitpoints.max. Right? Yep, okay. I'm going to look for max HP. I'm going to do a quick save here and then just do an RG for max HP to see where that is. So there are a few places where we still have player HP that needs to be changed. GUI has to change somewhere as well. Alright, so here's the less easy ones. Let's do the player. Combat stats changes to pools. Let me change this to pools too. This is a heal thing. This is a... Oh no, sorry, wants to melee. Oh, this is just saying, does this thing have... Yeah, maybe we keep this as combat stats. Because all we're doing is trying to see, does the thing have it, not whether or not... Okay, so if it has combat stats, it works. So now let's look for can heal. Here, this line here. So we change this to pools. Pools. And then this is pools.hitpoints.current. Pools.hitpoints.current. And this is pools.hitpoints.max. Okay, that's not too bad. In main, line 345, we reference the player's health. They've changed dungeon level and we give them some hit points back. Okay, yeah, I moved that to game state, right? Yeah. That's this line here. Here's player entity. I'm not sure what... So here's a game log entries push you descend to the next level. Oh, let's stop being so nice and delete that altogether. That's what they're saying. Okay. All right, so we don't do any of this then. Just pull it all out. And just say you descend to the next level. Okay. That's mean. And then GUI is an easy fix. Replace the import for combat stats with pools, and here's the relevant section. Okay. So let's look at their GUI code. I already pulled out combat stats from the top here, so this is in Draw UI. Yeah. Draw UI, we have this. Combat stats pools. Players and hunger, and then we're going to format this instead of this is what needs to change, right? Yeah, I think this has to change to combat stats dot hit points dot current. Combat stats hit points max. Right? This, I think this is a leftover from the old one. Oh, and then we draw the bar. Yeah, so this is what we needed for that. And then here's the bar that we're drawing. Okay. Let's just put these in here. Stats hit points current. I'll change it to stats. Stats hit points max. Right. We'll change this and change this, and we have to change this. Oh no, we don't. I misread that. So here's where we grab the combat stats, and here's where we join it into stats. So the stats is right. But this is wrong. This should be hit points got current and hit points dot max. There. Okay, so I think those are the right changes. Now we're going to update the melee combat system. Oh, hi, Justabubble. Sorry I missed your... I've been concentrating on this refactor. Alright, so we're going to update the melee combat system now. We're down to one red file. Let's see if that's true. Save that. Oops. And just run a cargo check outside here. And see if it's true. We're down to one file. And there's a lot of errors. I don't know. Inventory system is complaining. Wow. Oh, I have to import pools everywhere. Okay. Here's melee combat system has one error. Yeah. Okay. So let's fix up all the other ones. I think we just need to update. Okay. Let's use the quick fix list here to fix up everything except melee combat system. All right. So that's that. We're going to skip that. Here's damage system. So pools doesn't exist. Let's pools. What else? Pools doesn't exist. Pools. Okay, here. Pools. It's okay, I'll just throw it at the end and let it update itself when we save. Okay, so this is melee combat system. All right, do a quick check. Yep, okay, so I think we are actually down to 1. Then why did we see so many? I'm going to hit clear. Yeah, okay, so it's just melee combat system. All right, so now we're down to this. So this is the big one. All right. So we're down to 1 red file, but now they relate to the core game systems that relied on the old system. We want to make that more like a D20 D&D game, so they should be replaced anyway. That means it's time to discuss the combat system we want. Let's go with a very D&D-like, but not quite setup. We look to see what weapon the attacker is using. We'll need to determine if it is a might or quickness based. If you're unarmed, we'll go with might. The attacker rolls a 1d20. If the roll is a natural unmodified 20, it always hits. A natural roll of 1 always misses. The attacker adds the attribute bonus for either might or quickness, depending on the weapon. The attacker adds a skill bonus equal to the number of points spent on the melee skill. The attacker adds any bonuses imparted by the weapon itself, in case it's magical. The attacker adds any situational or status bonuses which aren't implemented yet, but are good to keep in mind. If the total attack roll is equal to or greater than the target's armor class, then the target is hit and will sustain damage. Armor class is determined by 10 plus defense skill plus armor bonus for anything equipped. Damage is then determined by from the melee weapon. The weapon will specify the die type and bonus, add the attacker's might, and add the attacker's melee. So now we've defined how it should work, we can start implementing it. Until we've revamped some equipment, it's going to be incomplete, but at least we can get it compiling. So here's a replacement for the melee combat system that does what we described. Alright, so this is the whole shebang. Alright. Right expectalo wants a melee name. This is attributes and skills. Okay. From read storage. I'm going to have to add those up here. I forgot the L. Okay, and then suffer damage. Particle builder. We don't need equipped anymore. Particle builder, position, hunger clock. There's the pools. And then right expect random number generator. Okay. All right, and then we're going to have to revamp this thing here. So we have entities, log wants to melee, names, attributes, skills, inflict damage, particle builder, positions, hunger clock, pools, and the random number generator. Oops, there. All right. Our entity wants melee name, and then we have, instead of stats, we have attacker, attributes, attacker skills, and attacker pools. In what? Entities wants melee names, attributes, skills, and pools. Okay. That's a very long line. Let target pools. All right, so we're changing all of this, right? A lot of this is going to go away. All right, let's start typing. Let's try to understand what's going on here. So we're getting the attributes in here. Why are we doing this? Why aren't we grabbing the attacker pools here? We're just grabbing the pools. All right, let's keep going. Oh, these are the target skills. These are the attacker skills, attribute skills, and pools. And these are the target attribute skills and pools. Okay. Okay, I get that. So let's add a blank line here just to separate those. If attacker, pools, hit points, current is greater than 0. So that's similar to this line here. And target, pools, hit points, current is greater than 0. Alright. Let target name, names get. Alright, and then a natural roll. And then we get an attribute hit bonus, which comes from our might. And then their skill hit bonus. Okay, so this goes back to that code we wrote last time to calculate the skill bonus based on the skill type and the attacker's skills. And then finally, status hit bonus 0 if let some HC hunger clock. Then if HC state is hunger state well fed, yeah, okay, we'll leave it like this. I was thinking we can just say to let if, right? But okay, we'll leave it this way, and then we'll have 0. Let's group those together and group the next line together. Let modified hit roll okay, that's our modified hit roll. Now we do the defense, right? Let base armor 10. That's the skill bonus call again for defense. Right, and then we have armor item bonus, which is a to-do. And then let armor class okay. All right, so now we're checking the roll. So if natural is not 1, and it's a 20, or the modified hit roll is greater than the armor class, then we have a hit. All right, so a natural 20 will automatically hit, and natural 1 will automatically miss. And then we have a regular miss. Okay. Then target hit until we support weapons. We're going with 1d4. Okay, base damage. Roll dice, 1d4. Attribute damage bonus. Attacker attributes might bonus. Didn't we do that? Yeah, we have that up here as well. So we got it in two different, we grab it from two different spots. Then we have a skill bonus, which is the same thing as above again. Skill bonus. I wonder why we're doing this twice. We have it here. We have the values here. I don't know that they change between these two locations. And then we have weapon damage bonus. It's a skill bonus. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Attribute hit, attribute. They're calling it something different. Attribute damage bonus, skill damage bonus. But they're still just using the same. I don't know. Okay. Damage is I32 max of 0 or base damage. Enter. Maybe it'll change in the future, so we need to calculate it twice depending on. We have a hit bonus and a damage bonus, because we're not specifying hit here or damage here, so it's the same. It's the same thing. Skill hit bonus. Skill damage bonus and weapon damage bonus, right? And then suffer damage. Yeah, this is something that we get somewhere, and we're gonna have to add all this stuff back in, aren't we? Where was our suffer damage? Yeah, right here. All right. So I think, yeah, I think this replaces everything. So we're not getting the little particle things yet. It does say particle builder request, but I'm seeing, oops, these little things here. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, let's just keep going. Oops. Didn't want to delete that, wanted to go there. Okay, so this is the inflict damage and the wants melee target and then damage. That's it. And then we're going to say log entries push, hits for HP, and it's going to be name, target, name, and then damage. No, I can't fit on one line. That's fine. And then we're going to get the position. Oh yeah, okay, so here's where we put that in. It looks like we have it in 3 different spots, so that definitely needs to be cleaned up. All right, I'm going to delete these guys now that we have this. I think this, oops, this is that same line, right? Yeah, that's the same line. Okay, so we're done with that. And then else if natural roll is a 1, it's a natural 1 miss. So we'll do this and just say considers attacking, but misjudges the timing. And then we'll add name, and target name. And then we're going to put the particle builder. Oh, this is different. This is blue. instead of orange. This is orange, blue, and cyan. Okay. So let's grab this. And put it here. I don't know if you can hear that, but outside it's raining very hard. So there's a little bit of noise in the background. No idea if the microphone's picking it up. Okay, then finally, this is just a standard else case. This is a regular old miss. And this is going to be in cyan. And what's the log entry? X attacks Y but can't connect. So attacks Y but can't connect. And then all of this goes away. Like that. Now hopefully all that matches up. Yes. Okay. Very good. So that's all of that. Let's see if this compiles. I'm not complaining yet. Nope. RNG.roll dice. Okay. That's an easy fix. Pools doesn't exist, so let's throw it up here. What else? That's the system data from that. That's the system data from that. Oh, natural roll equals. What was I doing? Oh, we still have 6 errors. Skill. Oh, this should be skills maybe? Hexter, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you before. All right. Oh, it is skill. Okay, so do we add skill up here? And then skill bonus comes from that common stuff. Okay. Those common routines. And what's left here? Armor class. What did I do wrong? Here's armor class. Mismatched types. We're comparing armor class, which is calculated here, versus the modified hit roll, which is calculated here. And they're saying that what are the two types? One's a U size and the other's a... Oh no, look at that. Armor class is nothing. Oh, because I put an equal sign here. Oops. That should be a plus sign. Alright, so we're down to 3 warnings, which is good. We'll clean that up before we check it in, whatever those warnings are. It's a lot of code, but it's very similar very similar to the outline we created. Right. So I think as we typed this in, we understood what was going on. Since we don't support combat systems properly yet, we roll 1d4, which is down here somewhere. Yeah, right here. Okay, then we're going to modify spawns.json to make rats really weak, otherwise with no equipment you'll be simply murdered when you find them. Okay, so we have to add attributes and skills to the rats. Spawns. There we go. Rat. That's rations. Here's rat. Okay, so we're going to add attributes. And it's going to have might of 3 and a fitness of 3. And then we're going to add skills with a melee of -1 and a defense of -1 as well. Oh, no comma. Okay, you can cargo run now, jog to the down stair, it'll be on the right, or find the abandoned house and engage in combat. It will still be rather lacking in content due to not having implemented items yet, but the basics are there. You can see the D20 system in action. Okay, But we haven't added any other skills or attributes to any of the other... Will it work without any of that? I guess, you know, with all the defaults being 11 for everything. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Melee combat system doesn't use defense bonus or equipped anymore. Or melee power bonus, and then player entity isn't used in game state. Wow, okay. Game state. That's used there. And this is not used here. Oh, because we're not modifying the player's health anymore, so we don't actually need the player. So we can just delete that. We still have to place the player and write it to the storage, but the other lines can go away. Okay. Alright, that cleans up those warnings. Let's generate the WASM and see if we can attack. Why is it rebuilding everything? I must have done something last time. Yeah, I wonder what I broke. I don't think I did a rust up from last time. Alright. Well, while it's running, let's take a look at this. So we don't need to modify anything else besides the rat. Combat is less deterministic and may have some real tension rather than chest tension. And then that's the end of that chapter. Okay. We're close. We're getting close. Okay, so that's built. Oh, I was doing a release build. Why? Is that what I have in here? I do. Ah, that makes it slower. Okay, so I'm going to change that to debug build. Alright, so let's refresh this, and it panics. So the next thing we have to do when we panic is run it here. Nope. Be in the correct location. Yeah, this is going a little faster. So I don't think we generally don't see the error. It's in load raws. It failed on an unwrap. Where's load raws? It's in raws, right? Maybe it's in mod? Yeah, load raw. So it was unable to find... This is the unwrap that failed. Interesting. Why is it suddenly not able to find that? Duplicate field attributes. Oh, that's why. Line 230, column 24. So that would be in... raws.spawns.json 230. Oh, I do. Oh, look at that. Attributes is here. Where did that come from? Now I have to look for all the attributes and delete those. Oh, only when there's... Oh, yeah, not for all of them. Just for the rat. Okay, we're good. Okay. I wish it would have said that here. That would have been nice to know. Okay, let's try again. Well, it's already built, release. We'll switch it around next time. Clear the console. Refresh. Okay, so that time it worked. Let's go find some rats to kill. Oh, right. I have the magic map scroll I can grab. So one of the tiny houses has the rats. Not that one. Maybe this one? Nope. Nope. Running out of small houses to look in. Nope. Nope. What haven't I been and visited? One of these guys up here? Oh, that one has candles in it. Did we get any rats at all? There they are. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's right. There was a bug in the sorting code, wasn't there? All right, so I should be able to... Player attacks, it hits rat for 6 HP. Rat attacks player but can't connect. And I missed here, right? Rat considers attacking the player but misjudged the timing. That's a natural 1. Player hits rat for 4 and rat is dead. Okay, so that took a little more effort than last time. And now I'm dead. Because 3 rats attacked me at once. Cool. Alright, so this is now compiling and it does work. So we ended this chapter now, chapter 50. Let's check in with Clippy. And then push the or check this in. Git add source and raws. Yeah, we deleted all the stats from everything, and removed the combat stats. I wonder if we're not using the. So we deleted from the melee combat system. We deleted this defense bonus and equipped. And melee power bonus. If those aren't being used anywhere, then why do we still have those? They're in the save load system. They are a component. Oh, they are in the raw master. Okay. Okay, so we're still reading them in. Okay. I guess we leave that alone for now. Git commit -m finished revamping combat system. Okay, so let's move on. So now we're going to deal with equipment. Okay. In the last chapter we moved to a D20 styled combat system and attribute system. It's functional but doesn't really give any opportunity to better your character through gear. Finding cool items and painstakingly maximizing your efficiency is a bedrock of roguelike games, providing a lot of depth and a feeling that while the game is random, you can heavily influence it to get the results you desire. Alright, so parsing dice strings. We're going to find it helpful to be able to read a string containing a D&D dice specification, e.g. 20d6 plus 4, and turn it into computer-friendly numbers. We use this a lot when reading the raw files, so we'll put it in there. But make it public in case we need it somewhere else. Parsing out bit of text like that, maybe bits of text like that, is a perfect job for regular expressions. These are supported in Rust via a crate, so we'll have to open our cargo.toml and add regex to our dependencies. Actually, teaching regular expressions would be a book unto itself. But meanwhile, we're going to do this. Fortunately, I already know regular expressions, so I do need to take a 30-second break. Hang on. Back. All right, so bookmark added. How did I do that? Didn't mean to do that. All right, so yeah, I'm not worried about regex here, or regex, depending on how you like to pronounce it. So this is, now before I do any of that, I want to take a look at in the code. I thought we looked at the code for the random number generator before. It's taking a while to jump to the definition. I don't know why. And I thought there was something in there that already did this. So there it is. It took a while to jump to it. Yeah, we were looking at random numbers last time. But so yeah, there's a parse. Here's a roll string. Parse dice string. That's this, right? So then, maybe this was just added to. Wow, this is slow. I type jump to definition and it's taking its time here. Maybe it's in this file. Nope, it's in the prelude for the crate. Okay. All right. So it's probably very similar to whatever this is. So the question is it worth doing it ourselves? Here we go. Because this one's a slightly more complicated version of it, right? And it looks very similar. Cap get 1, cap get 2, cap get 3. All right. Well, we'll put it in our code. Source. Were they expecting it to go? I'm just looking for, okay, this is, yes, this is modifying the cargo.toml, but where, they say where to put this thing. I thought I remember them saying put it in raw master. We'll use this a lot when reading the raw files, so we'll put it in there. Okay. Maybe in mod? Sure, let's put it in mod. Pub fun parse dice string dice stir. Okay, another one of these lazy statics. Ref dice re regex new. Okay, and then we have a D like that plus D and then a plus or minus followed by another number of digits, question mark, and then unwrap that. Okay, so let mut and dice is 1, let mut die type is 4, let mut die bonus is 0. Okay, we're going to do this for all 3 things. Die type. Stop it. And then this one is die bonus. And this is cap get 3, and this is cap get 2, and the rest is exactly the same. And then we're just going to return in die type, die bonus. All right. That's clear as mud. Actually, it's pretty clear. I mean, each capture group, this is a capture group, right? That's for the first value. That's a capture group for the second value, and that's a capture group, a plus or a minus, followed by any number of digits, and then we just return that. Except I misspelled that one. There we go. And we return all the parts as a tuple. That all makes sense. And now we're going to have to use it somewhere. Oh, it doesn't like the... Oh, yeah, I forgot to add it to the tunnel. Oh, let's try... I think I added cargo add regex. That should just work. Okay, and then defining melee weaponry. For now, there's no need to change consumables. The system works okay. We're going to focus on equippables. So this is what the dagger looked like, and now the power bonus is outmoded. Weapons don't work that way anymore. Instead, we want to be able to define D&D like stats for them. Alright, so the renderable stays the same. Instead of weapon and with range and power bonus, we're going to add all these things. Alright, so regex, I got to add to my... I got to add a use statement for that. Use regex. Yeah? Okay. So we will now modify the spawns dagger right here. So instead of that, we're going to have range, melee, and then attribute of quickness. Base damage is a 1d4, and a hit bonus is 0. On why these things... Oh, there. Okay. So that's the way the dagger works. To support this in Raw's item structs, we changed the weapon struct. I think we have more than one weapon, though. So we didn't have to change all of them. Yeah. So that's the longsword and then the battle axe. Oh. Yeah, so we're going to have to change all three of those, I think, in order for this to work. But let's work on this. Item structs. A weapon now has a range attribute, which is a string. We have a base damage. And then we have a hit bonus by 32. Now open components and we'll change melee power bonus and rename it from main and save load system. We're going to replace it with a melee weapon. It captures these aspects, but in a more machine-friendly format so we aren't parsing strings all the time. Okay. So this goes in components. So melee power bonus. Here it is. So now it's just weapon attribute, which is an enum, and then melee weapon, which has all of these things. Okay, melee weapon. All right, and then we have to create the enum. Okay, and then we're going to have to add it, like they said here, we'll not rename it, but we're going to have to add it to the main. I guess it's a rename. Sure. Weapon. And then in save load system. Okay. We've condensed attribute into an enum and broken 1d4 plus 0 into a meaning. Into meaning these things here. And then there's a hit bonus. Alright, we'll also need to change spawn named item in raw master. Okay, this is spawn named item. What are we doing here? So we're setting it to equippable in the melee equipment slot. We're grabbing the dice. Adjustable asks, how goes the chapter? Well, we finished chapter 50 and now we're on 51. It's going well so far, although I haven't gotten to the point where I can compile and try it out, but we'll get there. Is parse dice string. Like that. And then we're going to create a weapon, WPN. I don't know why that. Melee weapon. Okay, we're assuming it's a might. Damage. D-A-M-A-G-E. And dice is in dice. And then we have die type. Die type. And then bonus. Bonus. And hit bonus. Weapon hit bonus. Okay, that's that. Now we're going to match weapon attribute as stir. Oh, we can, okay. But we can just do that up here. Right? Match weapon attribute as stir. Quickness is going to be weapon attribute quickness. And I guess we're just going to do anything else here rather than try to panic on a typo and just default to might. And then EB with WPN. Okay, that should be enough to read our nicer weapons format and have them usable in game. All right, will this check? It does not check. Oh, because parse dice string is not. I guess we have to pull that in somehow. I have used super raws. I have to guess parse dice string here. Okay, that was that one. What's wrong with this? Oh, I typoed it. Okay. But I typoed it back here. D-A-M-A-G-E. Right? D-A-M-A-G-E. Okay. Two warnings. I wonder if it's because we're not using something, but that's all right. If we go back to the design document, we stated you start with some minimal equipment. We'll let you start with your father's rusty longsword. Let's add this to the spawns.json file. Oops. I guess we can just put it anywhere. Sure, let's put it next to the dagger here. Oops. So we have a name. Renderable is going to be a slash. Okay. We have a foreground of BB77BB, whatever color that is. A background of black, and order 2. Comma, and this is our weapon def. Attribute is might. Oh, that's the default. Oops. Got that. And then we have a base damage of 1d8 minus 1. And then a hit bonus of -1. Okay. And then comma there. Alright, we've darkened the color a bit, it's rusty after all, and added a -1 penalty to the sword to account for its condition. Now we want it to start with the player. Currently in spawners.rs, our player function makes the player and nothing else. We want him/her to start with some initial equipment. Currently we only allow for spawning items on the ground. That won't do, you have to remember to pick it up when you start. So we'll expand our raw file spawning system to handle it. That's why we had the spawn type enumeration in rawmaster.rs, even if it only had one entry. Let's add equipped and carried to that enum. Okay, so we go back to rawmaster, and we have, nope, maybe it's in mod. Spawn type. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Oh, I put it here. Right, there was an issue with it. It didn't exist. And I moved it to spawner, and it looks like they preferred have to be in rawmaster. Okay, so let's do that move too, and that might break things. Because I'll need to make sure I add. Oh no, it might work. It might just work. Okay. So let's pull up rawmaster. Oops. There it is. Go to the top of that. And what we'll do is just pull this in and put it here. Okay, so we have at position, and we have equipped by entity, and then carried by entity. All right, and that's going to change this guy here, right? Spawn type. Oh no, he's just referencing at position. That's fine. We're going to need a function to figure out what slot an equipped item should go into. This will do the trick. Find slot for equipable item. Okay, so we're probably still in rawmaster at this point. Okay, so if it doesn't contain the key, then we're going to just panic. Okay, and then we're going to just read it. Let item index is raws item index tag. Raws items item index. Okay. If it's some, then we're returning melee. All right, we don't need to else if let some wearable string to slot. Okay, we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to write that, and otherwise we're gonna panic. Like that. So now we need a string to slot somewhere. Okay, spawn position needs to change. To include spawn type carried by and then spawn type equipped by, equipped with 2 P's. Oh, and that should be an arrow. Just a Bubble asks, why does your father, a man from a fishing village, have an old longsword? Good question. We can make up a backstory for that. Maybe he fished it up. That slot. Find slot for equippable item. Tag raws. EB with equipped owner by slot. Okay, so that takes care of that. Got an extra dot there. Or maybe maybe he fished up a magical fish and asked for a sword and forgot to specify it not be rusty. So that's that, and this doesn't have a. Thank you, Just a Bubble. I missed the 2 fat arrows there. Okay. So this is good, right? This is all. Oh, this might complain about this not matching, but there's this function here, string to slot, that I don't know that we have. It should be a colon. What do I miss here? Not found in this scope. Was there a raws I missed? Where does this raws come from? Oh, it's getting passed in now. Okay. So we actually need a tag, stir, and a raws raw master. So that's gonna break a bunch of things, right? Right. Where's our calls to spawn position? We had to change 3 lines to use the new function signature. Right. Unfortunately, I ran into another issue in implementing this. We've been passing in a new entity to our spawn named X functions. Unfortunately, this is going to be a problem. We're starting to need entity spawns to trigger other entity spawns. For example, spawning an NPC with equipment, or spawning a chest with contents. So let's fix that now so we don't have issues later. We changed the function signature for spawn named item and changed the first use of EB to actually create the entity. So this is slightly different to what I was hoping to see, because we need all the calls to spawn position now need to pass in a tag. Oh, but maybe that's what we're doing here, is we're changing this. And we're going to have to change our calls to spawn position. Here's spawn named entity. I'm just scanning forward because at some point we're going to have to change spawn position, right? If your cargo run now, you start with a rusty longsword. What? What? Okay, I'm missing something here. This is a spawn type, right? We did this. Okay. I guess we're going to have to figure this one out on our own. Right, we have this find slot with tag and raws, and now spawn position has tag and raws in there. We're going to have to somehow get tag and raws. Here's raws. Where does tag come from? I guess that's key. All right, let's make this change here. Spawn named item. We get the item template, and then we say let mut eb is equal to ECS create entity marked simple marker serialize me, like that. But at some point we have to call spawn entity, spawn position. Now I'm even more confused because now new entity gets passed in, but maybe it doesn't anymore. Spawn named item is raw master, the world, the key, and the position. Okay. So this goes away. And now we have this. I'm going to comment that out for now because we are going to have to circle back to it. At some point we're going to have to create a position. Alright, so we need to make the same change to spawn named mob. And we have to make the same to spawn named prop, which is here. Right? And then delete this line. And then where this is called here, we don't pass in a new entity, new entity anymore. But we do have to pass in the ECS. And now this doesn't take entity builder. And in spawner RS, we have to change the calling signature to not pass in right. This, we don't create the entity there anymore. Right. Okay, so this makes sense up to the point of passing into position. So we have this position here, but we're not using it anywhere. Yeah. So here's spawn position. So we need to call spawn position. I think that's what's missing from these lines here. It's after we do this, then we have to say, okay, let's look for position. It passes in position there. Gets the position here. I think we just have to say EB equals spawn position. And then spawn position takes what? Where is it? It takes the position. It takes the entity. It takes a tag, which I'm going to say is the key, because I'm guessing, and then raws. I think that's what we need to do. Does that compile? No, it gives us 11 errors. Oh, we're not passing the ECS anymore. Okay, so we have to pass that in. Spawn named entity. Here it is. Raws. ECS is the second argument. Okay. So we'll say ECS world. This is exciting, isn't it? Okay. And now we have, oh, we need to pass in ECS to spawn named item and to spawn named mob. Right, and then this guy here. Okay. Still have 5 errors. Simple marker doesn't exist. That comes from, I thought that came from components. Oh no, it comes from the specs, maybe? Is that something we invented, right? Yeah, specs save load simple marker. Okay. So let's pull that in. Ah. Like that. Yeah, and now we don't have string to slot. What else is bad? Entity builder not found in this expected name lifetime parameter. What? That's not good. Why was it expecting a named lifetime parameter? What? All right, let's fix the string to slot thing. String to slot. Oh, it's down here. Okay. So they do define it. It's just they don't define it until after they say, "Hey, try running this." It's not going to work because we don't have string to slot. Right? The first reference to it is over here. If it's a variable, it uses our string to slot function to calculate from that, which doesn't exist. So let's add that now, and just to get this thing to compile. Here it is, string to slot. Okay. It says pub fun string to slot. Does it really need to be public? I don't know. Let's not make it public and see where it breaks. Slot when it breaks. Stir. Match slot. We're kind of debugging the tutorial, aren't we? What was it? Melee? I think that's the only one that we have right now, so I'm going to panic. Oh, they're doing console log. Okay. But then they have to return something, right? Yeah, they return melee. Okay. Slot, and then equipment slot melee. Oh, I missed something. I missed that. Okay. So, is this still going to complain about lifetimes? Why is it expecting a lifetime? What I typically do after stream adjustable blasts, what I do is I'll watch whoever I raid for about 5 minutes, and then I go do my day job. So I can earn money to pay for the internet so that I can stream. It's a vicious cycle. Alright, so spawn position is passing in the entity, and it's saying it needs a lifetime parameter. Because why? This function's return type contains a borrowed value, but the signature does not say if it's borrowed from new entity, tag, or raws. Alright, so this is where we take a peek at the code and see how it was implemented in the code. It's at the bottom, right? At the bottom. Sorry for all the scrolling. But let's take a quick peek in here. This is in raw master. So source, raws, raw master, and this is spawn position. Yeah, look, see? Lifetime parameter on entity builder. Okay. Well, we'll do that. That's easy enough. Would have been good for that to have been introduced in the... I mean, the whole point of this tutorial is to learn so on here maybe, and then here. Was that what they had? Alright, we're getting closer. Marked is not found in entity builder. Pretty sure Adjustable Blast, you use OBS for streaming? Yeah, I'm using OBS. I looked into alternatives, but this seemed to be the easiest way to get going streaming right away. So why is it complaining about marked? Because we've been able to do that before. Oh, this is the incompatible types thing. All right. So I think that's because of this. Why is marked not working? Let's see what they have here. No, they have marked. I wonder if there's something I need to do. No method name marked for this struct. Entity builder in the current scope. Oh, maybe I have to pull it in. Let's see what they have for their use statement up here. Marked builder. I bet you that's what's missing. Okay, that was the marked issue, but this is of type that. Oh, EB equals EB width. That was, and then EB equals like that. Unknown field wearable. Huh. Okay, let's take a look. That's the first reference to it is right there. An item is what? It's from the raws. I misspelled trying. Okay, let's debug this one. So item is whatever comes out of raws items, and raws items is, where is that? It's just raws. So here's item is just a vec of item, and vec of item is renderable, consumable, weapon, and shield. We don't have wearable yet. All right, let's take another peek here. They do have it in here, but I bet you it's in this item structs. Yeah. So we have to add this wearable. Maybe that's like a future leak. This is future code that should not be in here yet because we didn't define wearables yet. So, oh, where was that? In raw master. So I'm going to comment this part out. This is future code. Like that. Yeah, okay. We do have 6 warnings, but the code's compiling now. That's good news. So we were able to get all this stuff done. We got that done. Yeah, we did that change. If you're wondering why we couldn't pass both the ECS and the new entity, it's because of Rust's borrow checker. New entities actually keep hold of a reference to their parent ECS. So if you try to send both a world and a new entity, you get errors because you have 2 borrows into the same object. It's probably safe to do that, but Rust can't prove it, so it warns you. So now we can update the player function in spawners to start with the rusty longsword. All right, let's do this. So we're right here at the player. We did all the skills. Those are all there. ECS create entity with position, with renderable. That's all the same. Player, view shed, name, hunger clock, attributes, skills, pools. Oh, everything's the same except now instead of just returning the built player, we're going to spawn a named entity on the player. So we're going to add this line here after making this change here. Let player equal this. semicolon there, and then starting equipment is going to be spawn named entity, raws lock unwrap, ECS rusty long sword, I hope I spelled it right, spawn type equip by player, and then we're going to just return the player. Yep. So the main change is here that we put the new entity into a variable named player before turning it. I don't know what that means. We then use that as a parameter for who's holding the rusty longsword. We spawn via spawn named entity. If you cargo run now, you'll start with a rusty longsword. It won't work, but you have it. Why won't it work? Okay, so let's just do a quick check here. Spell player correctly. And then let's generate the WASM. I'll use import create spawner. Okay. Oh, that's right. We need to put the mobs at positions. And probably the props too. Okay, so let's fix these because this is pointing out an actual error in the code. We have spawn named entity. I just want to grab this line here from spawn named item. Spawn named mob needs that line, and spawn named prop needs that line. That should fix a couple of the warnings. Raw master then, oops, I'm already in raw master. Doesn't need this apparently. Right, we're down to 3 now. Weapon doesn't need to be mutable because I put the attribute change right in there. So that might come back to bite us later. Okay, 1 left. String to slot is never used. Oh, okay. That's why it wasn't up there. It's because we don't need it yet. This is future code. Okay. So let's comment this out as well. Because we don't have weapons or armor yet. Okay, so now we're down to 0 warnings. That's good. Let's generate the WASM. And let's come on. Let's see if this works. It doesn't. So it panics in unwrap failed. Oh, there must be. All right, let's see what the error is. It's in the JSON parse thing somewhere, I bet. Missing field attribute on line 133. Okay. Oh. Oh, because it has, oh, yeah. So each one of the weapons is going to have these, all these things here. Let's just give them all the same type for now, and then I guess we can come back later and fix that. Doesn't need a power bonus, doesn't need a power bonus. Are those all the weapons? Yep, okay. So that's what happened there. But we'll have to, at some point, maybe they'll talk about that in here. I'm just going to scroll down real quick. No. Here's the shield. So we have to go back to the dagger at some point. Yeah, all right. I'm not going to get into it now. Let's kill this search thing here. Because we're trying to get to this point here. Okay, so let's refresh. Nope, still no good. Trying to equip Rusty Longsword, but it has no slot tag. Oh, right. We need to tell it which slot it goes in. And it should be in the JSON, and it's not. So, source raws. I think it's just... There's spawn position. Here's EB with slot. There's parse dice string. What do we call that slot tag thing? And it's find slot for equippable. Oh, okay. All right. So I think it's just that we just have to put slot : melee on the raws. Right, like this, slot, like that. I think. Again, it would have been nice to see that here, but whatever. Nope. That's not the last error. Maybe the last error is we don't know what melee means. Oh, trying to equip Lusty Longsword, but it has no slot tag. Okay, so what's going wrong? When we read... Let's see if we can find slot here. Yeah, so I think what happens is we didn't parse out a slot yet. Yeah. Okay. It's under wearable. There's a slot. So I think what we're going to just do for now is just return melee. Get rid of all this future code. And just say equipment slot melee. And that's it. Okay, now we get 3 warnings because we're not using stuff, but that's okay. Alright, so now it's running, and if I hit I, we do not have a rusty sword. That's not good, so that didn't work. And it might be because of this whole equipment slot thing, right? Equipped, owner by. So we should be spawning the rusty sword down here. Spawn type equipped by player. Let me put in a quick spawn named item. I'm just going to say there's spawn position. And this is what uses the different spawn position types. So we set it to be equipped. As opposed to being, oh, it's equipped. I was looking in the backpack. If I instead hit R for remove. Okay, yeah, so it's working. So I do have a rusty longsword. Apparently it doesn't work though. I'm not sure why it doesn't work. Let's find the rats. Not there. To check every building. Because our sort doesn't work. Oh, there's a rat. Rat hits player for 0 HP. Player attacks rat but can't connect. Player attacks rat but can't connect. So maybe that's what they mean. Oh no, I hit 4 HP. It kind of works. Or maybe I'm just using the sword. I'm using my fists or something. I don't know. Oh, I walked through the wall. I thought I couldn't do that. Well, that was weird. I was able to walk through the wall when the rat attacked me. Exploit. That's amusing. No, I'm trying to walk through the wall again. I'm not sure what the issue is. That was a weird bug, right? I mean, I'll have to go back and watch the VOD, but I typed left. Tried to go left, and somehow I ended up being attacked on the wall. Very weird. Epic Blog says you got speedrun features already. Yeah. Aha. Okay, so we now have the Rusty Longsword equipped. Now we're going to say making the Rusty Longsword do some damage. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't yet, which means I don't understand something about this. So we're going to add this. You can now equip on start. Sure, let's go with that. We left a number of placeholders in the melee combat system, and now it's time to fill in the weapon gaps. Open up the file and we'll first add some more types we need. Okay, and then we'll add some code to put the default weapon information in. Okay. So we have most of these, right? Game log wants a melee name, attributes, skills, suffer damage, particle builder, precision, hunger clock, pools, and random number generator. So all we're doing is adding equipped and melee weapon. And then we have to extend this thing. Okay. Then we'll add some code to put the default weapon information and then search for a replacement if the attacker has something equipped. If it doesn't say where to put that, I'm guessing right at the top. Hi, W. How do you pronounce your name? Thank you for the follow. Hit bonus 0. So that is that, and then for wielded, melee. In equipped items, melee weapons. So that's what we get up here. Join. So is this supposed to be inside this loop here? Or is it supposed to be outside the loop? Oh no, it's going to be inside loop because we just grabbed the entity value that comes from this for loop. Okay. Okay. So that makes sense, but now I think this wielded slot doesn't exist yet, right? That makes substituting in the weapon-dependent parts of the code quite easy. So we have a natural roll. Attribute hit bonus is, let me say, if weapon info might, then it's the attacker attributes might bonus, else, let's put this here, and then it's the attacker attributes quickness bonus. Okay. So that's where we pull those values from. And then the skill bonus is still that. And the weapon hit bonus is we're going to grab from the weapon info. Like that. Well, we can also swap in the weapon's damage information. So that's down here. So we can delete that comment and say RNG roll dice, it's weapon info, damage and dice, and weapon info, damage, die type. Okay, and then that's the might bonus, that stays the same. Attacker skill stays the same, and then we have weapon info, damage bonus. And I don't know if this is going to compile because of the slot thing again. Right? We have this check for the wielded slot. And I don't think that exists. Yeah, and weapon attribute. Oh, that might exist somewhere. I think I remember adding that to the components. Yeah. Okay, so we just need to pull that in from components. Right? And then what's the next error? It's the equipment slot. Like that. Okay, that's weapon attribute again. Let's run another check. Oh, okay. Equipped and melee weapon. I think we deleted those before because of one. Okay, so now we're okay. So this worked. I guess we do have the slot after all. Now if you cargo run the project, you can use your sword to hack the rats into little pieces. Alright. It takes a little while to get there, but we'll find it again. And we're going to fix these later in the chapter, these warnings. So I'm not worried about those just yet. Alright, refresh that. Build that. Okay, let's find the rats. In here? Nope. Nope. There they are. Okay, so... Oh, they're not coming to find me. Oh, they don't go through the door? That's annoying. Alright, so I'm getting damage already. Player hits rat for 3 HP, then I get 1 damage there. Player hits rat for 6 HP. I guess that means I'm getting my bonuses. And then I died. I'm going to guess that means I'm getting my bonuses because we're actually running through this code. So it should be working. Yeah, he was able to pull a rat down and attack it one at a time. All right. Oh, well, that didn't go so well. We were hitting for plenty of damage, but the rats soon overwhelmed us. Even doing default damage of 1d4 with a might penalty. As you saw in the recording, I tried to retreat with the intention of healing and noticed I was hungry. I took too long to find the house and couldn't. Fortunately, we have everything we need to also add some food to the player's inventory. The design document states that you should be starting with a stein of beer and a dried sausage. Let's put those into spawns.json. Add source. Actually, what did I change here? Oh, now I'm apply weapon bone to combat. Okay, so let's add dried sausage and beer. Let's put those right next to rations here. So we have name of dried sausage. It has a glyph of food, foreground, a solid green, and background of black. And it's consumable. It just has a food effect. Okay. No comma there. I'm so used to putting commas. And let's copy paste that and change this to beer. Beer is a potion. And it's purple. And then this has provides right here, provides healing for 4. Right? This is just food. Alright, the sausage is a copy of rations and cures hunger. The beer is a super weak health potion, but these would have been enough to defeat the rodent menace. Let's modify player in spawner.rs to also include these in the player's backpack. There we are. Let's just copy paste. And we're going to add in dried sausage and beer. Ricky Leo, thank you for the follow. Okay, so these are all, oh, these are carried. Instead of equipped, they're carried. That makes sense. So now the player starts with a healing option and an anti-hunger device, commonly known as food. But wait, we're naked. Okay, before we do that, let's do a quick check. We should still have those 2 warnings from before, and we do. All right, now let's see if we can start with a dried sausage. Oh, we started with beer. Something went wrong with our dried sausage. Spawners, right? Oh. S-A-U-S-A-G-E. So that's kind of annoying that that happened. I would have liked to see an error message on the console saying could not find. Makes debugging easier. All right, let's build this and run it. Now we got the dried sausage and the beer. So now the beer should help heal. Oops, I keep forgetting to pick up the scroll of magic mapping. There we go. Let's find the rats. No rats there. There they are. Okay, this one pulled out. So if I start attacking this guy, oops. They're not damaged. Oh, there they go. Now they're damaging me. So let me run away. Okay, so now I should be able to use the dried sausage to cure hunger. Let's drink the beer. Alright. Drink the beer, healing 4 HP. Oh, I only start with 10 HP now. I used to start with more. And if I get hungry... I thought hitting waiting would heal too. I'm just holding the spacebar down to use up turns. Looks like the oh, there it goes. I was going to say the hunger clock didn't look like it was working. So now if I eat the dried sausage, I'm back up to well fed. Okay. So that's working. Good. Let's see if Clippy's happy with this too. And we can check this in. Start with dried sausage and a beer. Okay. But wait, we're naked with only sausage and some beer. I didn't think it was that sort of game. Nobody in the game is currently wearing anything. That's probably okay for the rats, but we weren't envisioning a massively liberal society here for humans. More importantly, we also don't have any armor class bonuses if we don't have anything to wear. In Components RS, we'll replace defense bonus with wearable and flesh it out a bit. Okay. Wearable. And just has armor class. That's it. It's a very simple change. So let's change main as well. And save load system. Okay. And then we're going to update our item structs to reflect what we want. A raw file reader and item structs to reflect what we want, and then they show the wrong thing here. That's not good. All right, this is where we take another peek at the code because they don't have the code change for item structs. I assume it's just going to be, I mean, we have weapon, right? We should just be adding a wearable. I'm going to just guess on this. Pub struct wearable, and it's going to have, looks like it has a slot and an armor class. But we need an actual slot. Guess on string. And guess on I-32, and then we'll take a look at the code and see if we get close. Yeah, armor class F-32. F-32. Oh, interesting. Why F-32? And let's flip it around like they have it there. Okay. Yeah, armor class 1.0. Interesting. Okay, so now we'll add that to source. No. Spawns.json shield. There it is. So shield is a wearable with a slot of shield and an armor class of 1.0. Oh. Okay. That's probably going to break our tower shield, right? So we need to change that. Maybe make that 2.0. And then what was the other one? Is that it? That's it. Okay. Those are the only shields. Yep. Yes. Okay, good. We probably also want to support more equipment slots in Components RS, so we should update equipment slot to handle more possible locations. Okay. Where's equipment slot? So we have melee and shield. We'll add head, torso, legs, feet, and hands. We'll undoubtedly add more later, but that covers the basics. We need to update item structs to reflect the changes. Oh, okay, it was right here. All right. We didn't have to go digging through the source. So item is going to have renderable, consumable, weapon, and wearable. And wearable means we get rid of shield. We just have these. We're going to need to convert from strings to equipment slot a few times, so we'll add a function in rawmaster to do this. Okay, so this is where we did that. Here's future code. Oh no, that's string to slot. What am I doing? Here, string to slot. Okay, so we have shield, head, torso, legs, feet, and hands. Shield, head, torso, legs, feet, and hands. Okay, so that's that. We'll expand our spawn named item code in rawmaster to handle the expanded options. So that's this thing here. Yeah, I'm just looking at this code here and saying, no, maybe not. Maybe we just continue to call find slot. Because this is where we're calling string to slot. Yeah, I think that the code's a little messed up here. So where we call this is in spawn position. They're talking about changing spawn named item, which is called from, which calls spawn position. Somewhere we do equippable. Here's equippable. Let some wearable is this, then do this. And this is saying if weapon, and here's shield. Okay, so this is I think this is the code they're saying to replace. But we're already doing the position here. All we need to do is make it equippable. Yeah. Okay, let's take another look at their code. Yeah, they call spawn position. And just check to see renderable. And I guess they let spawn position do all the work. Yeah, here. So we're gonna do the same thing. This is the weapon section. Here's the wearable section. Oh, interesting. So they do call string to slot again. Okay. All right, so we're actually setting the slot on The wearable portion of it. Okay, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. So we do want to change respawn named item. It's right there. So we're going to change this here. Because this code goes away, or gets changed to this, right? There. It is equippable in a particular slot. Let slot equals string to slot, wearable slot, and then we just change the slot here. And then it's with a wearable instead of defense bonus. And keep hitting F1. Okay, slot and armor class, wearable armor class. Get rid of those lines. Okay, does that check? Does not. Slot doesn't exist. Really? I thought we added that. Oh, we didn't. Did I just overlook that? This is in item structs, not in components. Where's components? Yeah. I think that's just missing from here. And this should be an F32. Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was here. So that one's on me, but pub slot's on them. Okay, so that compiles, and now we're going to add a few more items in spawns.json to give the player something to wear. Stained tunic, torn trousers, and old boots. Torso, legs, and legs. Okay, so let's just, I guess we can add it here. You know what I'll do is I'll just copy this. And we can paste it right over here. I do need to add, oops, add a comma here to get rid of this red. And then shift these things in. Yeah, close enough. We can run through the pretty printer again. Now we'll open up spawner.rs and add these items to the player. Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll just add, we got the dried sausage and beer, so we just copy paste 3. So this is stained tunic, and it's going to be equipped by, I'll change that in a second, torn trousers, and then old boots. And it's just equipped by player. Like that. Okay. If you run the game now, checking your inventory and removing items will show you that you are starting correctly with your stained shirt, torn trousers, old boots, beer, sausage, and rusty sword. Okay. Let's do a run. Oh, sorry, Preston. You asked a question. Are you planning on developing a roguelike or just doing this tutorial to expand your mind? Yeah, I am going to do my plan is to do a roguelike. Oh, and I missed another question. You created a build script with only cargo build only, or you have some custom build procedure? Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm building a WASM so I can run this in the browser. So I don't have to keep switching back and forth like this all the time, and also running, if I say cargo run here, for example, then it comes up with this little tiny window. I haven't figured out, or haven't bothered to learn how to make it a different size. But if we run it like this, for example, oh, it panics. because this is not working for some reason. Dang, I broke something. But yeah, so to answer your question more directly, I do have a custom build script which generates a WASM target and then runs WASM bindgen on that. And then in our WASM directory, we have the JavaScript that gets generated each time I build, and the WASM that gets generated each time I build. And then I just refresh my browser here to pull those in. But apparently it's panicking. Trying to equip Rusty Longsword, but it has no slot tag. That's in line 436 of Rawmaster. But that means that it's got this slot here of melee. What am I missing here? This is a wearable. Oh, maybe it needs a wearable? No, wearable is not for weapons. So let's take a look at line 436 and see where we are. 436. Yeah, so if it's a weapon, we should be returning this. Apparently, Rusty Longsword is not classified as a weapon. Let's see what it is. I think I have this set for debug. And then I'm going to run it over here. Preston asks, I doubt many people would classify a Rusty Longsword as a weapon. Yeah, well, I mean, you can hit somebody with it. Okay, so Rusty Longsword has a renderable, a consumable. The weapon is set to none. Oh. Okay. Oh, because I put weapons with an S. When did I change that? It was working before. Maybe add a paperweight slot and put it in there. Yeah, and then you attack with your paperweights. Okay. Hopefully this one works. Refresh. Yes. Okay, so that worked. So if I say I have a dried beer and a sausage. And if I say R, I have a rusty longsword, a stained tunic, torn trousers, and old boots. So all of that seems to be working fine. If I remove my stained tunic, and I can drop my stained tunic, I move it to the side, it's... Oh. Something's wrong with this pop-up, isn't it? It should say stained tunic next, just above scroll of magic mapping. If I drop it now and move aside, oh, there's no glyph for it. Oh, I equipped it instead of dropping it. So now I have to remove it. Stained tunic is B. Now drop C. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's working there. But if I go on top of it and drop the scroll of magic mapping, yeah, there's something wrong with the pop-up. It's hard to see, right? The contrast is terrible. White on light gray is awful. But stained tunic, the first part of stained tunic is missing. All I see is NIC. So there's a bug to track down. All right, let's finish out this chapter and then figure out what that bug is after that. We still have one more thing to do with wearables, and Melee system needs to know how to calculate armor class. Okay, so let's do that. No. Armor item bonus. There it is. Okay, so we're going to do the floating point, 0.0. And then we're going to say for wielded armor in join. Do I actually have wearables? I don't, so that's going to need to be added. That's something else missing from the tutorial. And then we have base armor class. Oh, let's move this up, I guess. Because then we have base armor class is 10, armor quickness bonus is the quickness bonus, armor skill bonus is the same, armor item bonus is what we're missing. Okay. And then the rest should stay the same. All right, so we're going to have to figure out this wearables thing, which means we have to add wearable here, I'm guessing. Wearable to that, and then down here at the bottom of this, wearable. Yeah. Okay, that should do it, because now that matches that. Does that check? It doesn't. I misspelled equipped. Armor item bonus F. Oh, this is be mutable. I missed that. Okay, so this checks. So why are we using floating point numbers? Classic D&D assigns your armor values to complete sets of armor. So in 5th edition, leather armor has an AC of 11 plus dexterity. In our game, you can wear the pieces of leather armor separately. So we give them a value equivalent to part of the desired AC for a full set, and we add them together. Okay. That way you can mix and match, I guess. All right, so I'm wearing clothes. Why isn't everyone else? We've got far enough in implementing clothing and weaponry that we can start to give it to NPCs. Since the barkeep is our favorite test victim, let's decorate his entry with how we'd like to spawn items. Okay, easy enough. We've added an array called equipped and list out everything we'd like the barkeep to wear. Of course, now we have to write those items. Okay, let's check. Let's commit this, and then we can work on the barkeep. Adding in wearable slash armor bonuses. Okay. So we're going to edit our spawns. Yep. So in barkeep, so we're going to just add a new equipped array, which is going to be CUDGEL. And of course we need to add all those guys. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste this guy. And these don't go under mobs, these go under the next section, props. I guess we'll put it right at the top of props. Is that everything? I think so. Cudgel, cloth tunic, cloth pants, and slippers. Oh, I gotta add a comma here. Right? That's everything. There's nothing new here, just data entry. We need to modify our mob structs file to accommodate giving NPCs equipments. Okay. So mob has HP, mana, and then equipped. Okay. We optionally provide a list of strings. So now we have to modify spawn named mob to handle this. Let new mob equals eb.build. What? Okay. Oh, we'll replace some eb.build. It's down at the bottom. Here we go. Like that. Should I include the anything typo? If let some wielding mob template equipped. Okay, so it's just like in the way we did the player thing, and then just return some new mob. Easy enough. What are we missing? Tem plate, and this would be a tag, not a rag. Okay. This makes a new mob and stores the entity as new mob and looks to see if there's an equipped field in the mob template. If there is, it iterates through it. If you cargo run now, you'll find that you're wearing clothing, wield a rusted sword, and have your beer and sausage. Well, that's true, but we also know that the barkeep now has. Preston says, that particular byte might be necessary to the emergent synergy of the final project and dangerous to fix it. I'm saying I should switch this back to rag and deal with the compilation errors and just live with the consequences. I'm going to pass on that. All right, so let's generate the WASM. Refresh, and of course it panics. Is it going to complain about the rusty longsword again? Oh, Preston's talking about the typo in the comment. Yeah, anything versus anything. Cudgel, didn't we just add all the... Maybe I misspelled cudgel somewhere along the way. So I fixed the anything typo, but I introduced a C-U-D-G-E-L. That's cudgel. That's cudgel. So that's correctly spelled. What is it not? Maybe the cudgel has to be defined before... No. All right, so what line number is that on? 432. Oops. No. Raw master. Raw master. Oh, geez, I did it again. Raw math. And if I type... Oh, okay. 432. It's saying the item index does not contain the key. Or maybe it's not supposed to go under props. Maybe there's something else that goes under. This is so we go items. Oh, maybe it's an items, not a props. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Let's delete those and switch, put it under items. Okay. And let's rebuild. Hopefully that's the only mistake. All right. Refresh. Yes. Okay, now how can we tell if the barkeep's wearing anything? And we can't attack him because we have it set to he's a friendly guy. If I point at him, it just says barkeep. So I guess he's wearing equipment, but there's no way to know. Dressing up your NPCs. I won't paste in the full spawns.json file here, but if you check the source, you'll find that I've added clothing to our basic NPCs. For now, they're all the same as the barkeep. Hopefully, we'll remember to adjust these in the future. Okay. If they're all the same as the barkeep, then I can just copy-paste all those. Right? I can just take this line and add it to every NPC. So we'll look for vendor and just paste it there. Oh, needs a comma, I guess, if we're going to do it that way. Oh, don't need to do that one. He's already got that. Clothier. Alchemist. Okay, and that's the shady salesman we already added to. So the only other one is bystander. The priest is a bystander? Really? I thought the priest was a vendor. Okay, parishioner. What's this? It's mom. Mom gets a cudgel too, sure. Peasant gets a cudgel. Dock worker. Fisher. Wannabe pirate. Drunk. Patron. Okay, and then we're back to that beginning. Hi, Roger. How are you? Preston WL says, cults usually have a uniform. That's true, yeah. That's true. You should probably invent something for them to wear, and then you can kill them and take it, and then blend in and infiltrate their cult. All right. So we've done this. Roger Twice says, track pants, so classic. You talking about the cloth pants? Yeah. Okay, what about natural attacks and defenses? So the NPCs are nicely dressed and equipped, which gives them combat stats and armor classes. But what about our rats? Rats don't typically wear cute little rat suits and carry weaponry if you have rats that do start running. Instead, they have natural attacks and defenses. They typically bite to attack. We're not going to worry about rat-borne disease yet. And rely on natural fur coat to provide a minimal level of protection. All right, so we're going to add this to the rat. All right, first what did we do here? We added our, okay, so starting NPCs can now specify equipment starting SPECI. Yeah, starting equipment. Okay, that's good. Some creatures have more than one natural attack. Ignoring breath, weapon, and tails, dragons are often listed as have claw, bite for front claws and their mouth. Even kittens can claw and bite. So we need to support multiple natural attacks from a creature. Let's decorate our rat to show how we'd like to handle this. So, editing our rat. We have a render rule. Oh, that's rations. Render rule, block style, vision range, melee AI. We have might and fitness. We have skills, and now we're going to add natural. And this is going to be an array of different types. Okay. It's going to be name, bite, hit bonus, 1d4. And that finishes out the attacks array and finishes out the natural. So we're going to, I guess we'll extend this at some point, but we're going to modify now mob structs to add a natural. Option mob natural. And then we're going to add a mob natural. Balgi says, hello, I've never seen this tutorial before. What engine is this built on? This is a Rust roguelike tutorial. It's using RLTK and specs. And here it is in, I'll paste this into the chat. The also the description of the stream description has a link to the tutorial, but I can give you a link to the current chapter that we're working on if you want to follow along or read ahead or whatever. Armor class. So basically I'm using this in order to learn how to create roguelikes and learn how to program in Rust, and it's been very helpful for both of those. Balgi, thank you for the follow. I normally stream for about 2 hours, and I've been doing 2.5, so my voice is starting to go. But I want to finish out this chapter before I finish, before I end the stream. So, and then we have natural debug, or natural attack. Struct. Tomorrow I'll just do it in my usual 1.5 to 2 hour stream, but something's keeping me going here. This is much like raw file reading we've done before. It optionally loads a natural key and fills out the mob's natural armor attacks. Now we have to make use of this information. So we have to go into components and add some components. Yeah, I was looking to say maybe it can go near the melee stuff. I don't know where it gets. Let's just put it at the top. So we have serialize, deserialize, and clone for the natural attack. This pub struct serialize me is all on its own here. I wonder what that's all about. We don't need default. So this is pub struct. Wait, if this is going in components, it needs to be a component, but this one is not a component. Okay. Balgi says, I tried some Rust for games before, but I got stuck thinking in a way too OOP, and Rust doesn't like that. Yeah, so what I'm using is specs for the entity component system, and it seems to be working with Rust pretty well. There are other ECS crates out there. Specs is pretty basic. So when I make my own game, I'm going to start looking at others. Die type and bonus, and then finally hit bonus. And then we're going to have a component, pub struct natural attack defense. And then attacks is a vec of natural attack. Okay, then in main, we're going to have to add Where should we put it? I'm trying to think of, you know, what would be a good thing to put it next to that's reasonably similar. And I'm just scanning over this stuff here. I don't know. Maybe we'll put it next to monster. GS ECS register. And this is just natural attack defense. And I guess the natural attack struct comes along for the ride. All right, so this just gets natural, NATURAL attack defense, like that. Okay, so this should check. Eric Blark says, yeah, I'd wager that's a common problem. Oh, learning, yeah, OOP versus non-OOP in Rust. You can kind of sort of do OOP with Rust with enums and traits. You can get the same effect out of that. And I've got a feeling that when I do, so my next project is to convert this Java code tree walk interpreter into Rust. And I've got a feeling there's going to be a bunch of OOP stuff that's going to have to get handled. Or redesigned in order to fit into Rust's ecosystem. Okay, in turn we have to adjust raw master's spawn name mob function to generate this data. So this goes in raw master. So this is going to be, let's look for spawn named mob and find out where a good spot for this would be. Here's with name, with viewshed, blocks tile, and here's where we build it. But this is going to be before we build it. Okay, let's just put it right here then. If let sum NA. Okay, and then if let sum attacks. What are we doing here? I'm parsing the dice string and then generating a natural attack from that. Okay. I'm gonna call these by their actual names. Because then I can just pass them in to the constructor. Let attack natural attack. Hit the hit bonus. And then we just say damage and dice, damage die type, and damage bonus. Like that, and then nature attacks, push, attack. And then this is EB is EB with nature. No, can't go there. It's got to go here. Okay. Finally, we need to adjust melee combat system to use this data. We'll start by giving the system the ability to read from a new natural attack defense. Okay, so that reminds me that this actually needs to be added to the top. Oh no, it doesn't. I got a star right there. Okay, good. And it has to be added here though. And then down here, we're going to just do a read storage. And then we're going to add it to our data. What are we calling it? Just natural. And then armor class is relatively easy. We adjust our base armor class to not be a constant. So instead of it's a 10, we're going to say if match none is a 10, and then sum nat is nat on class unwrap or 10. Okay. We could actually do the unwrap or thing with this thing here too, and just do a double unwrap or, but that's all right. That's a bit of a mouthful. Not really. I mean, if it's a none, it's a 10. Otherwise, we use unwrap or for 10. Otherwise, there is, and then we use whatever it is. So why are we modifying the base? This allows you to have a beastie with natural armor who also wears actual armor. For example, you might have a demon lord who gets some natural armor for just being a cool demon. He also gets to benefit from cool looking plate and mail you gave him. Natural attacks are a bit more complicated. Whereas the attack starts up here. So what are we modifying here? We get the weapon info and then modify the weapon info. And then where does that come into play? So we keep the weapon info as before. Oh, okay. So maybe it's I'm looking in the wrong spot. Oh, right here. Okay. So we keep the weapon info as before. And then we just add this natural one. If let sum nat. This is this code again. And we looked it up, didn't we? We looked it up in the random number generator. If I go look here, there was some code that did exactly this business with if it's 0, then return 1, otherwise return something else. This is a random slice entry. Yeah. No, so we didn't do that. Random slice index. Yeah, that's what we did. Okay. It's in the bystander AI system. So I think we can do the same thing. We can say, let's just copy that. Right? We can say let attack index equals RNG random slice index. And we're just going to look at natural attacks. And that gives us that. Okay. And then weapon info, hit bonus. Oh. My eye slipped over the line there. Damage and dice. And this is going to be die type. And this is going to be bonus. Like that. Okay, so we keep weapon info as before, then we look to see if the entity has a natural attack defense attribute. If it does, we check that there are any natural attacks. If there are, we pick one at random. That's what this does. Right, so as long as it's not empty, it means we're going to get at least one out of this thing. and turn the weapon info into that attack type. This prevents monsters from completely shredding the player with multiple attacks at once, but allows you to spread out the attack types. If you cargo run now, the rats have slightly more natural behavior. They may well still kill the beginning adventurer, but that's roguelike life. Okay. So does this check? It does not. What did I do wrong here? Oh, arrow. There's 8 errors. That's a colon. ATTACKS. What's this error here? I fixed that one. What's the error? Slice indices are... Oh! As you size. Okay. Is that the last of the errors? Nope, one more. Oh, it's a sum, so we can unwrap it. Oh, which means what we can do is even better if let sum attack index equals RNG random slice index nat attacks. Oh. Will that be a U size? It will. Okay. I like this better. There's 2 if lets in a row, and I don't think you can... Can you do if let and that? I think you can. Nope. Apparently not. Let expressions in this position are experimental. Okay. I guess you can't do double if let. Okay, so that builds, or that checks. What we're going to do now is take a look to see if the rats will attack us with bites. Right? What were the options? I forget now what the rat options were. Yeah, there's a bite, so we should be able to see the bites. Refresh, begin new game. Scroll of magic mapping. And now we got to find the rats. I will tomorrow. We'll take a look at there's the bug of the size of the building sorting that we need to figure out why it's not working right. The pub is supposed to be the largest building, the temple is supposed to be the second largest building, and the rats are supposed to infest the smallest building. But that's not happening. Haven't I looked at all the buildings now? Did I miss any? I missed this guy. There they are. Come on, rats. They're not attacking me. Still not attacking. Are they afraid to go through the door for some reason? Alright. It just says rat attacks player, but can't connect. Oh, there he goes. Rat hits player for 0 HP. Rat attacks player, but can't connect. Rat hits player for 1 HP. I was hoping it would say bites, but that's right. We have hits hard-coded in there. Don't we? There, now one came out. Multiple came out. Alright, so that's kind of working. Dusty Bubble says, should put the rats in the largest building, but leave the part where it fills half the tiles. Oh. Yeah, then there'll be plenty of rats, right? Okay, let's check in with Clippy before we wrap things up. Oh, Clippy's happy. Okay, so get status, get add source and raws, get commit, adding natural attacks for mobs. All right, let's push this up over here. We did a bunch of good work today. 3-hour stream is a little too long for me though, I think. All right, and let's go see what can we do in terms of Twitch search, cargo, run, Rust. What do we got? Anybody streaming Rust? Nobody's streaming Rust. That's a shame. What about streamers I follow? Actually, that's something I should add to the Twitch search to say, give me a list of all the all the people I follow, and what are they streaming? Well, all we got is Bob Ross and MST3K, so that's it. That's a shame. All right, well, thank you everyone for hanging out with me today for this extra long bonus stream. I will see you tomorrow, where we're going to take a look at the next chapter, which is called... We did finish, right? Yeah, this is the wrap-up. Okay, good. The next chapter is called User Interface. Okay, that should be fun. Oh, look, we're going to redesign everything. Nice. Okay, we're going to do that. All right, thanks again, and hope everybody has a great day. See you, Roger. Take care.